Good afternoon. Good afternoon. What up, everyone?
Salute, bro. Salute.
Of
What's
course,
up? What's up?
man. This is another installment of the Southern Baller Show. I know I usually go on at 7, but because of obligations I have later on in the day, I want to go ahead and get it out the way. Due to me not doing the show last week or last weekend, I should say, um, uh, I didn't want to miss another show, so I'm going ahead and get one in during this time. Uh, so I got a couple of the brothers on here, like always. Brother Brent Fox, what's going on, man?
Hey, man. Salute. Salute. Glad to be here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout out to the mighty LDBC, and of course, I have the real All American, no cap, LDBC business. Big Joe, what's going on, brother?
Salute to the family. What's going on? How y'all doing on this Sunday?
Bless, man. Can't complain, man. Can't complain about anything. And JB, what's going on?
What's up, man? Just blessed for another day, man, and ready to knock out another week, And first, I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my weekend.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, let's get going, y'all. Crazy weekend. Crazy weekend. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it. Um, but man, y'all been catching some of that UFL action?
Yes, sir. I was watching the Houston Roughnecks game earlier.
Who won that game? I was
Uh,
watching it and then I got sidetracked.
the Roughnecks won. They got a defensive at the last. It was like 17 seconds left in the game. The other team was going down to score, and then the Houston Roughnecks got a strip fumble. And then they recovered it, kneeled it down, won the game.
Mm.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. What do y'all think about the UFL so far? Is it catching your interest? Um, you think it's gonna do well in the long haul?
I mean, for me individually, since I'm a fan of the game, yeah, it's always caught my interest. Even when it was the XFL, USFL, um, it still caught my interest because I love ball. Pause. But yeah,
Got
I think that I think that it keeps a hardcore football fan's interest, most definitely. Now, mainstream, I'm not so sure about, but as it applies to me, I enjoy it.
you, brother Brent.
That was just me that just answered. You talking about Joe?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Joe. My bad. My mind everywhere. Big Joe, what's going on?
Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah. No, man. I'm loving it, bro. We got some. Until we got some more football. We got football in the spring. We got the draft around the corner, but we're watching guys right now who could potentially be in the NFL. There's already a kicker out there who's getting a lot of interest. There's going to be a couple guys. Who's going to make it. It's going to take time for this league to build up. Me and my dad, we had season tickets. To the AFL back in the day for about 15 plus years. We used to go to all the games and whatnot. When it first started out, there was a whole lot of fans, and then as years go by, you have big crowds, you have small crowds, but it was still football. So I supported the AFL, so I'm going to support this league. So shout out to
Same here.
everybody who's playing, who's getting a second chance. So it's still football. I mean, we might not know everybody, but what I mean, it's still the same. It's still the same.
I agree. I agree with you 100%, Big Joe. JB, what you think about this the league so far?
You know what I'm saying? I watched that Arlington versus Houston game, and I know it's frustrating. It was kind of chippy out there because I know Arlington lost two, their last two games going down to the wire, but they was actually winning those games, and the opposing team came back and beat them. So it's just frustrating. And you know what I'm saying? Me and you, Jared, we've been on them teams. We've been on dominating winning teams. And we've been on teams where we had all the talent, we just couldn't get a dub at the end for whatever reason. So they just need to just Arlington just need to go back to the the board and just see and just keep watching film and see what's what they need to do to get that first dub. But this like the brother said, it's football, man. I love it, man. It's football, and a lot of these dudes you see playing in college or playing on the practice squad in the NFL and didn't get a chance to play. So I'm enjoying it.
I agree with you. This is basically this is the quench your football thirst during the spring. You know what I mean? So basically for like Brandon and Big Joe said, this is basically for the true football lovers. Um, if you're strictly NFL or CFL, this is not for you. But um, if you just love football in general, for the people who just you didn't even go to that high school, you'll just show up at a high school game just to see the football. This is for you. This is definitely for you. So I agree with all you brothers, man. But just showing you guys what the standings so far. Of course, games are going on right now. So this will definitely change. So the Birmingham Stallions in the USFL conference is actually the only undefeated team. The Michigan Panthers are 2-2. Memphis Showboats are 1-3, and Houston Roughnecks. Would this make them 1-4? Excuse me, 1-3, Big Joe.
Yes, sir. 1-3, and Arlington is now 0-4.
Yeah, and Arlington is 0-4, which makes them the worst team not only in the XFL conference, but in the UFL right now. So St. Louis Battlehawks 3-1, San Antonio Brahmas 3-1, DC Defenders are 2-1. So it looks like, to me, in my opinion, it looks like the XFL may have the stronger conference. But we gonna see. We definitely gonna see. But it's definitely been good football going on, man. Definitely.
Shout out to my other favorite running back. I love Darius Victor, but Mark Thompson from the Houston Roughnecks. I love his style of football. I remember when he was on the Baltimore Ravens practice squad and he was playing in the preseason. But Gus Edwards beat him out, and that's when we signed Gus Edwards at for that. They were both free agencies. Gus Edwards coming out of Rutgers in Miami, and Mark Thompson. I think he came out of Miami too. I believe. I might be
Yeah.
wrong, but
No. He came out of Florida. Mark Thompson played
Florida,
for Florida
Florida.
Gators.
I know one of them Florida teams, but yeah. So he was with a with the Gators, but I loved his running style. I thought we should have kept him at least on the practice squad, but hey, I'm glad to see him still playing football. So shout out to Mark Thompson.
Yeah, shout out. Yeah. So y'all check out the UFL, man. Some it's good football. You know what I mean? Good football. These are pros. Are they your Dak Prescott's, Lamar Jacksons, or Christian McCaffrey's playing? No, but these are the dudes that was once upon a time on an NFL roster, or they didn't make the cut. But it's good football. It's good football. But Big Joe, shout out to you, man. You just talk about a little bit of HBCU, man. You brought something to my attention last week about a young man named Jamar Graham from Georgia, he is a behemoth of a young man. He's 6'8", 225 pounds, quarterback. And he was committed to Alabama A&M for the Hornets. So this young man may be the replacement for losing Demetrius Davis. Demetrius Davis was, in my opinion, probably one of the best high school quarterbacks in Texas, representing for the Houston area, down there in North Shore. He first committed to Auburn, but he transferred from Auburn to Alabama State. Alabama State. I got schools confused. Excuse me. So let me get this straight. So Demetrius Davis went to Alabama State, but this young man is going to Alabama A&M Bulldogs. Excuse me. So Graham is actually going to the rival of Alabama State, which is Alabama A&M Bulldogs, which Alabama A&M haven't had a solid quarterback since Quill Glass. So shout out to those Bulldogs, man. They're good recruiting. But Big Joe, when you gave me that information, anything? What are your thoughts on Jamal Graham?
Yeah, I saw him. When I saw the picture, I'm like, man, this kid's huge. He looked like he should be an offensive tackle somewhere, or maybe he should be a center or something. But I looked at it. Watched his little highlight tape. He definitely can sling the ball. He's a big kid. He doesn't have the arm strength of a Jamarcus Russell or anything like that. But he's definitely a big kid that can sling the ball. So he's not much of a mobile guy. He's kind of like a pocket quarterback. He can get out a little bit, but he's definitely a talent. Anytime you see a kid that big throwing the ball, he's definitely going to have eyes on him. So hopefully, he comes into camp shape and hopefully he stays healthy. And just with him being that size, he'll get a look. So whether it's the NFL or whether if it's the UFL, So yeah, man, I'm just 6'8", 225, 230 playing quarterback. That's a big kid. So yeah, shout out to him, and hopefully he has a good season.
I agree. Shout out to that young man, Jamal Graham. There he is on the screen. Man, he a big kid. But yeah, we're going into the new season. Especially, I will definitely be looking out for him. All right. All right, gentlemen. Let's go ahead and get it out the way. So, ladies and gents, this is a football show, but we are not shy, or we're not afraid to go into talk about other sports. So, those who've been living under the rock, Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney went ahead and fought in a big time fight, and basically Ryan Garcia won the fight. He knocked Devin Haney down 3 times. Correct me if I'm wrong, gentlemen. He knocked Devin Haney down 3 times, hurt him bad in the first. In my personal opinion, I don't think he got his equilibrium back together. But shout out to young Devin Haney. He fought valiantly. In my opinion, he didn't fight a intelligent fight. But he went out like a soldier. But he did not get knocked out, even though he got hurt multiple times. The fight ended in a mid decision. Going with Big Joe, what did you think about the fight?
Oh man, you might want to have me go last, brother. I don't want to take none of the brothers talking points. So have me go last.
No problem. We'll say the best for last. Brother Brent, what did you think about the fight?
Well, let me just start off by saying that breakdown that I did, showing how each of them could win. I was still wrong. I thought that Ryan may need to be able to hook off of the jab. I did mention that he if he was able to time Devin coming in using the hook, that could be utilized as a tool to help him win. But yeah, he basically did that portion of it. But I don't think that I expected. I don't think I expected the result um, either. What I do think though is that unfortunately we went in with the wrong mindset, and the reason I'm saying we is because, of course, I'm still a supporter of Devin Haney. Um, when you fight the best, you are subject to actually lose. That happens. What you basically do is you get a confidence builder like Adrian Broner. You get him in the ring because you know he's not going to fight back, and you get a win off of that. And if you need maybe another confidence booster, you do that too. And then you on to bigger and better things. But I think it was just really the wrong approach, to be honest with you. I think that the Regis Prograis fight did give him some type of inflated confidence. And then we just weren't looking to make sure that we did the little things right first, like making sure that you kept your hand up um, as you were kind of going into Ryan. He did do good body work, especially when Ryan tried to get in that Philly shell and Devin kept hitting him with the right hand. Those were good shots. But you have to make sure that you do the little things right. And I think that we got overconfident going in, thinking that we were just going to get in there and beat him up and not do what we normally do, which is actually just kind of collect data, figure out what he's doing, and then systematically pick him apart. And then that's where the beating up comes in. I think we went in, we were like, okay, we're on a mission. We're going to run through this guy. And we were on to bigger and better things. And then when it didn't turn out that way, a lot of people are questioning, you didn't you didn't do this or you didn't do that. And I will agree with Stormy B Man's point on his show last night. You have to be able to make in-fight adjustments when things do not go according to schedule. So hopefully, we can work on that. But at the same time, I think it was just a wrong mindset, thinking that we were just going to go in, beat up on the guy, and then walk out. And it just didn't happen that way.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Before I go into JB, I'm gonna shout out some people in the chat. Shout out to brother D Weezy. He was talking about the UFL when we was talking about that. He said if it could become a feeder system for the NFL, would draw more casual football fans. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, like
And
in yeah.
yeah, yes sir. Um, Woke said salute to the panel. What's good? What's good, Woke? What's good, brother? But going back to your point, Brent, I agree. I think Devin Haney probably overlooked Ryan Garcia. I don't know why, because this kid could bang, even though he was having issues. He conveyed like he was having issues. But Ryan indeed is a good fighter. No, I don't care. Or a decent fighter. So he's definitely nobody to overlook. Of course, I have to welcome my brother, Coach 67 Sports TV. What's going on, man?
Good evening, gentlemen. How y'all doing this blessed evening?
We doing all right, man.
So, Coach, what's going on with you?
Blessed and highly favored, bro.
What's up, Coach?
Not a whole lot, JB. What's good with you, bro?
Same old, man.
All right. Well, JB, I'm going to you. What did you think about the fight?
But man, I ain't gonna lie, I can't wait for town perspective. So I'm gonna make this quick. Man, Brent hit it right on the head, I think our boy, Devin went in there, with a sense of, with a sort of the big head. Like he knew he was a better boxer or fighter than Garcia. But as I was talking to you, Jared, and Pops last night, This is what one thing that he did wrong, and this is what happens when you have a Earl Spence or Deontay Wilder or a Devin Haney. When you see obviously when somebody has an advantage or the table set, but you a warrior and you just don't give a damn. You just gonna fight regardless. When that Joker was 3 pounds overweight, if I was Bill, if I was Bill and that was my son, I would have took him out to fight. I would have made Garcia lose that 3 pounds because he wasn't going there to win the title. He was going there to beat Devin up. It's kind of remind you of the second Water Tyson Fury fight. Tyson Fury didn't wasn't necessarily going down there to win the title. He was going that and to in the ring to beat Water up. And we know all the details behind that. But follow me, and I'm not saying that that happened. I'm saying that, like for example, Tyson Fury it had a big weight advantage over Wilder, and obviously when you saw Garcia and Devin in the ring, it was obvious. It was obvious that this is what they trained for, and with Derek James in the corner, you knew he was gonna um, lean on him, get close to him, and do that Texas lean on him. So I just thought this was just like the brother said. I think it wasn't our day. I wouldn't have probably fought until Garcia fat ass got that weight off of him. But hey, when you're a caliber fighter like Garcia, man, you take chances. So I'm not going to shit on a man that take chances to be great. So respect the Devin Haney for finishing the fight and going out on his shield, and shout out to Ryan Garcia for the win. And that's it.
All right. Okay. Coach, thank you for coming in. I'm gonna go to you, but first let me shout out to my brother Trill Will, LGBC and nothing, who went live, man. We were listening to Will uh while the fight was going on. Um him and the brothers was cooking. So shout out to Will, man. Thank you for coming by. But Coach, what is your thoughts on the results of this fight?
Well, to be truthful, I was completely shocked while watching the fight. I didn't think that Devin would get knocked down 3 times during the course of the fight, for one. Second of all, I don't think he really fought his typical, normal, smart fight. I think he get to the point where at certain points he try to impress fans that's not gonna like him regardless. So like he try to impress them, and he try to do more than he would ordinarily do. Lastly, he kept getting hit with the left hook over and over again. I remember one point. I remember Lennox Lewis was fighting against David Tua, and the only weapon David Tua had was his left hook. So it got to a point where Lennox Lewis took his right glove and he put it by his right ear, like he was talking on the phone. And every time Tua threw the left hook, he just raised his hand and blocked it. Devin really couldn't do that last night because Ryan Garcia, he did well with the right hand. I think Devin should have did a better job, boxing, moving. And when Ryan Garcia kept going to that Philly shell, the shoulder roll, I think he should have just did a better job just pounding into the body. I mean, it just wasn't his night. Like he said, he want a rematch, and I think he's gonna do well as long as he fight the proper fight. But Ryan Garcia, he didn't respect Devin's power whatsoever, for one, and second of all, to me, it just seemed like he was playing crazy more than being crazy. But he fought a good fight. The left hook kept landing. The straight hand was working also. That punch combination is It's a good combination. So you got to realize these individuals fought 6 times in the amateurs, and they split it down the middle. And Ryan just got the better of it last night. So unfortunately, congratulations to him. But I'm still DHP, still rocking with Devin, and I think he's gonna shake back and get and win in the rematch.
I agree. I definitely agree. Uh, going saving. He said he wanted to go last, so here he is. Big Joe. What was your thoughts on the fight?
Oh man, to be honest, man, it was a tremendous fight. Boxing. We always talk about how fights are boring or whatever. Last night boxing won. For a lot of people who didn't want to see the fight happen, for a lot of people who said they didn't want this fight to sell out or whatever, that fight was buzzing. You saw before they even rang the bell, the whole building was buzzing. It was sold out. It seemed like everybody watched the fight because not everybody today is talking about it. Even Uncle Ocho, they talking about it. You know what I mean? So everybody's making money on the YouTube channels talking about this fight. So obviously, the whole boxing world watched it. So when Twitter proved that last night. But um Ryan Garcia has some bad habits, but Devin Haney got some bad habits as well. Ryan Garcia has a habit of when he pulling his head back, he has his arms down, which is why Devin Haney clipped him with the right hand in the second round. That punch was there all night because Ryan would just lean back. Devin also, his habit is he bring his hand to his chin. He don't bring his hand to cover his head. So a lot of times when he throw his hands and he bring his hand back, it'll be right on his chin, and he'll get caught with that hook every time. And a lot of times Devin was highly indecisive when he was throwing his punches. He'll kind of be stuck in midair when he's trying to do something. A lot of times he got caught. And another thing that was confusing the hell out of Devin was that we all know Ryan's a combination puncher. He'll throw 10, 12 punches. When he would blitz Devin didn't know what to do. He didn't know how to get out of the way, left or right or whatever. He would just blitz Devin and then he would catch him. And that was one of the drops that Devin had where he caught him against the ropes, he just blitzed him and then he fell on the ground. So, a lot of times when you're being a man, a lot of times your manhood can betray you. Devin won this fight so bad that he ignored all the signs. He ignored the business of boxing. He decided to go with it anyway. That him coming in 3 pounds overweight, that was to his advantage. You're
Yeah, because he won't
suffering.
be able to sit on those punches.
Oh yeah. I mean, like he was able to rehydrate and breathe fresher, and you're still, trying to get back to yourself. So Ryan came in at 143. He rehydrated probably 165, 170 easily.
Yes.
So in all actuality, the fight shouldn't have happened, and Devin could have fought Barbosa. And then we'll be talking about something different. But when you want to beat somebody so bad, so the antics of Ryan Garcia got to the Haney family, whether we like it or not. It got to him, and wanted him for talking about his religion, talking about doing something to your mom, and talking about whatever, doing all that. It made them want to fight Ryan Garcia so bad. And a lot of times you can want something so bad it ain't good for you. So this was definitely a lesson learned for young Haney. This is something that he will need to go back and work on his fundamentals. Because Devin also has a bad habit of when he's ducking and under punches, his hands are down and he's wide open. So he needs to go back to the fundamentals. He needs to go back to, what got him there. You're a boxer. You're not a puncher. Don't listen to what these fans are saying about you're boring or whatever. Do what got you there. Do what got you to be an undefeated champion. Don't try to be anybody else that everybody else is taking. Be yourself. Don't try to put on the show. Just try to do you. Floyd did him. Wilder's doing him. Earl Spencer's doing him. Bud is doing Bud. Just be yourself. And also, last night was an example of Devin Haney is normally the faster guy in the ring. He's normally has the better footwork. He's normally has the faster hands to whoever he's fighting. But what do you do when you go against somebody who might be a little stronger than you, a little faster than you, maybe have a little quicker feet than you? How are you going to adjust? Same thing like in high school. When in your high school, everybody's an all-American, everybody's all whatever, all city, all an all-star. What do you do now when you go to college and everybody's an all-American, everybody's an all-star? How are you going to overcome that? How are you going to have your star shine the best? and Devin Haney struggled with that. We all knew we all knew the hook was coming. Everybody knew Devin knew, and he still went there and said, "I slept on the hook." How you sleep on something that you've been practicing all camp? That should be the first thing you're aware of. Everybody knew Ryan was going to blitz him. Everybody knew he was going to blitz him because he was out of shape, came in 3 pounds overweight. So he was going to blitz him. And we saw that Ryan fought in spurts. He caught him in the first round and clipped him. After that, Devin should immediately went back to being Devin Haney and stopped trying to prove a point. I mean, at the second round, Devin clipped Ryan and buckled him, and after that, he was boxing beautifully. But then didn't hold the phone, got lackadaisical, ducking without his hands up, and got caught. This is a great lesson. When the best fight the best, when top guys fight, this is what happens. So I'm glad this happened to Devin now because he's still young. He has time to recover and he has time to get better. So hopefully they have a rematch, maybe at 145, 147, because obviously Ryan don't care about belts, so they can fight anywhere. I know Ryan called out Boots Ennis. We'll see, but shout out to Ryan Garcia. He did everything he needed to do to win. Devin Haney didn't do everything he needed to do to win. He didn't be himself. He didn't utilize his tools, and unfortunately, DHP was outsmarted by Golden Boy. So still DHP all day, still Bay Area all day.
Yes, sir.
Young Dev licky wounds. Go back to the drawing board. You're still a champ. So you still got the belt at 140. You might fight Matias next. You might fight Sandor Martin, or like the brother was saying, you might fight Adrian Broner. But go back, actually watch the film and fix your mistakes because you're still young, you're still a champion, and you still can be one of the greatest ever. So we're gonna see what's gonna happen. But shout out to DHP and shout out to all the family who was there to support DHP.
Yes.
Shout out to all the brothers who are out there showing love. So yeah, man.
And
Yeah, man.
one correction, Big Time. Everybody made money on it except for me. All I got was 15 views on my live stream. So nobody want to see that. They just want to see me talk about stuff.
It's all good, man.
15 views is better than 0, dog. You feel me?
Well, yeah. I ain't knocking it, bro. But I guess they want to be like, hey, man, hey, coach, we don't hear that. We want to hear you talk about Southern, coach.
Hey,
It's all
be
good,
like
bro.
that sometimes, man. But I sure listen to your point of view, man. But I agree. And agree with all you brothers' points. But the main points I agree with Big Joe and JB, as far as being a man and you walk into a trap because you just want to be trill or you just want to go head on with somebody. If somebody is showing you that they're not fighting fair, man, just back up and view the situation a little bit better. Old boy came in fat on purpose because he wanted to sit on his punches and punish. So, um, but what happened last night. It is what it is. Congratulations to Ryan Garcia. And still it's still um
Dream team over
Haney.
here.
Yeah, still dream team. Yes, sir.
Hey, you know what I say, Jared? Take that L, man. And I
Yep.
don't mean losing. Take that learning lesson, young man. You'll be
Yes, sir.
okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh yeah. Oh, also to everybody who's saying, "Oh, Devin Haney's a hype job. Devin Haney's a bum." Well, if that's the case, then y'all shouldn't worry about Ryan Garcia winning. This shouldn't be a big victory to y'all. This should be equivalent to Ryan Garcia beating Luke Campbell. If he's overhyped and he's a bum, then this victory shouldn't mean something. But we all know what it really is.
Yeah, I don't understand when people say when they said that about Wilder. You know what I mean? When they said that about Earl Spence, the way Bud beat Errol. Like these are good champions, y'all. They just wasn't their night. Especially Wilder. We know what happened on those nights, but we ain't gonna go into that. We'll be here all day. But good stuff, gentlemen. Good stuff. Good dialogue. Now here's the meat of the show. And I'm glad Coach and Big Joe, especially and Brent, with their football minds, hopped on here because we're gonna cook on this. So, players jumping in the portal, is it because of opportunity or being spoiled? what do we think? Good segue of this topic is basically Monty McClain, as you see there. Um, he jumped into the portal few last week or a few days ago from Colorado, so he's no longer will be part of Coach Deion Sanders' uh, ball club. Uh, so basically, there's been some behavioral issues going on that both Coach Prime and his high school coach highlighted. Coach Prime did say in a recent interview that he wishes Kamani McClain the best, but the young man has to listen. I'm ad-libbing, but he has to listen. So, and his high school coach said that he thought that Coach Prime and Cormani McClain will be a good fit because Coach Prime is not going to kiss Cormani McClain's ass. But Cormani McClain jumped in the portal. So, again, are a lot of these young men jumping in the portal because of better opportunity, or they want somebody to kiss their ass? Going with you first, Brent. What you think?
I think it's a little bit of both. Um, and obviously, it depends on who you deal with. For McLean, it's definitely a situation to where um, there's an ego involved. He needs a program that will pretty much cater to that particular ego, and that's where he's pretty much going. The only situation behind that is wherever you go, your set of personal problems are going to go. So if there's a program that's more tolerant to those particular problems, as long as you give him as long as you give that program what they want, which are splash plays, which kind of lead to like people coming to your stadium to uh, watch to see what you actually do Saturday to Saturday, then it's going to seem all well and good on the surface. But once things don't go the way of either the player or, more importantly, the organization, if the organization doesn't like what you're doing, those problems compound. And now all of a sudden, you're an issue. And even if you try to jump back in the transfer portal, you got that jacket on your back to where you're pretty much an issue as a personality. Um, and then they stop kind of looking at the player so much. If the production from the player is really really good, then people will put up with that. People will put up with a whole bunch of stuff from you. But as soon as that production actually goes down, they're less tolerant, like in a hurry. Like, hey, you need to pack your bags and get out of here, hurry. Like the day after the game. I know Joe has probably seen that happen to somebody because even me on a lower level, that's actually happened to a dude that the dude that was going to Kilgore Junior College with me. He was a defensive lineman. He was just kind of messing around doing stuff, and one day he wound up punching somebody out, and like he wasn't producing as much as they would like. So like the second they heard about it, he was gone, man. They got him out of there within like 2 hours, which is crazy if you think about it.
Yeah.
That meant from the time that they heard about it, they had already made that decision and tried to get him out of there. It was that was crazy. And it's not like the internet was popular back then. It was like word of mouth. So yeah.
Yeah, that's how it is. And that's what a lot is not being said. A lot of these programs know this certain player is a nuisance, but because if they are producing, they'll look the other way for the time being. But if they're not, if they feel like they um, are not producing or are useless in their eyes, they definitely will pull that plug more quickly. So yeah, you're definitely right, Brent. Um, JB, what are your thoughts on the topic?
Man, it's a little both like Brent said, man. Some of these dudes, man, um, kind of like old boy Storm Duck, who's with the Tar Heels. Then he went to what was it, Nebraska or something like that.
Michigan and then Michigan.
Michigan. He went to Michigan, and it worked out for him. But you know what I'm saying? He's still the same player in my eyes. You see what I'm saying? But but it can work out for you. But then you have other players that like Mr. McLean, where ain't nobody gonna kiss your ass, bro. Period. If you can't do what you told, you can't even listen to the Coach Prime, bro. One of the best DBs in the NFL.
They
And
ever
not
played
only
the
that,
game.
ever play the game. Yo, high school coach said the same thing. Bro, you gonna have a rough life. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of these things, man, where I mean, here on the Southern Bowler Show, we discuss this, all of the brothers, Joe Town, Coach, and Brent, with the, why people get up and leave from the portals, and jump into these portals, and we discuss the good reasons and the bad reasons. Um, and this is just a good segue of some of the positives and negatives. And Mr. McLean is part of the negative. You know what I'm saying? Um, he can go to HBCU school, and ball, but nobody don't want to pick him up because he got attitude issues. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. And as for the rest of these players, I think they're just trying to move around. Um, a lot of these players don't want to sit and wait their turn. Some just about justifiable, some not. Some they just impatient. But
But
this is the
some are
times we live
interesting,
in now.
and I agree. But some are interesting. Like you see Seven McGee there. He was an Oregon Duck, but he transferred to Jackson State. Now he's
Right.
in a transfer portal. Of course, he's probably Seven McGee is probably trying to find a better opportunity. But Clifton McDowell, bro, he this is a head scratcher, bro. He was at Montana. He
Right.
led the Montana Grizzlies to the FCS championship.
Right.
Jumped in after jumping in the portal from a HBCU,
Mm-hmm.
but he made it to Montana, made it to the FCS championship, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Then during the off season, jumped back in the portal, and now it is said, thanks to brother Jay Good and Instagram, that he might be going with McNeese State. So I don't know his situation. He, even though he balled out, he may not like the program or the people, or of course those may not be the cases. I'm just like his situation is it's crazy. You know what I mean? But the young man may know what he's doing. Um, Coach, what is your opinion on this topic?
Bro, I think it depends on the circumstances, the individual. Uh, for example, you talking about Clifton McDowell. Just realize, I mean, he started out at Louisiana Tech because he's from Texas. He started out at Louisiana Tech. Then he transferred to Central Arkansas. Then he was supposed to come to Southern last year, but he saw how loaded the quarterback room was, and he jumped in the portal. He went to Montana. He became Big Sky Conference Player of the Year. Now, we don't know, you were just speculating on what the situation or the circumstances could be in his particular case. We don't know. Maybe he didn't like it at Montana. Maybe maybe it's not enough to do for him there. Maybe he wanted to be at a different environment. But he jumps into the portal. We think he's going to Prairie View, and we're like, well, hey, it's not Southern, but at least he's in the SWAC. And then he
Right.
decommits, and he commits to supposedly he's going to McNeese State, and he could probably end up playing Southern in the first game of the year. So in his particular situation, it kind of seems like, if you really can't case it, it seems like more than anything, he's just not a stable and settle-minded individual. Certain instances, individuals, they want to change the scenery, change the location. Other instances, players want better opportunities in terms of they want to play, they want to become a starter. Other instances, it might be for NIL money and NIL opportunities. So I think it varies, depending on the individual, because, we talk about Seven McGee, he another one. I mean, like why leave Jackson State? Like, you're the man at J State. I mean, he might not be as big a star as like maybe Scott Anderson was at Grambling or Michael Hayes was at Southern, but I mean, you're still a relatively good player at Jackson State. But, he jumped in the portal again. We even talked about last year after the spring game. Trey Lane had an excellent spring game. He jumped in the transfer portal. He ended up going to Indiana University. So, in certain instances, I think players leave and they looking for greener pastures in terms of greater opportunities to play, to become a starter. It's not like, it was in the 90s where, hey, you would sit and you would wait your turn, especially if you play quarterback. Like, for quarterbacks in particular, nowadays, 7-on-7, these guys have they're playing football year round. They have a better understanding of coverage and concepts. So a lot of instances, guys are starting as true freshmen. Whereas, like, if you look at the mid 90s, man, you had to wait until at least your junior year in most instances to even step foot on the field to become a starter. Somebody like Charlie Ward, like he sat 2 years at Florida State before he became the starter his junior year. So it's a different day and age. A lot of these players are spoiled. They're selfish. They're entitled. They don't have any patience. They're not willing to wait their turn. Now, in some instances, justifiably so, players, they want to play right away if they feel like they're the best player at that particular position. Of course, players are always going to feel like they're the best in most instances. So in certain cases, you could see, hey, it's obvious, like, hey, maybe this player should have played, maybe this player should have started, whatever the case may be. It's cool. You're like, all right, hey, I can understand this player transferring. But in too many instances, since COVID hit and, the transfer portal has come, since the inception of the transfer portal, I see too many instances where players, I'm talking players that's starting, players that's prominent players on the team, and they just jump in the portal for no real reason. In many instances, these players don't have a solid place to land. I mean, if you guaranteed to get a better opportunity, NIL money, whatever the case may be, I can understand. But too many instances, like, I hate to bring it up, but we always talk about Bashawn McCray. Like, you the starting quarterback in Southern. You essentially was a glorified running back playing quarterback. Basically, you was a running back. And because, quarterbacks, a lot of times when quarterbacks drop back to pass, defenses relax and they go into coverage and you take off and run. It's like you have a hat on the hat. But even if it's a zone read option type play, essentially you're able to get a hat on the hat. You just have to make one person miss. But from a passing standpoint, he was a mediocre passer to say the least. So everybody that's a Jaguar fan knew that hey, Sean McCray shouldn't have been the starting quarterback. And basically the only reason why he was starting quarterback essentially because Bashawn McCray and Benny McCray, they had a close personal relationship with head coach Eric Dooley. So instead of saying, hey, I'll be willing to move and transition from quarterback to wide receiver, he like, no, I'm going to just go somewhere else. And I'm thinking to myself, like, unless somebody promised him, they're going to give him a scholarship somewhere else to play quarterback, like, where else are you going to go? Like, people watch your game film, bro. Like, you're not a quarterback. So I don't understand why he thought he was going to get an opportunity to play elsewhere at quarterback. So to me, I think it kind of depends on that individual player. In some instances, players are justified in transferring. In some instances, players want a better opportunity to play or to become a starter. And then in other instances, it's because they're spoiled, they're selfish, they're entitled, NIL money, whatever the case may be. So I think it's a case-by-case basis.
I agree, man. I definitely agree. But my other question is dealing with as far as when you brought up as far as coaches wanting their players made to stay. You know what I mean? It's not like the old days where if behind somebody like another 5-star and or senior, you got to basically wait your turn. So back in the day, you couldn't just jump in the portal. You had to wait. But a lot of the old school minded coaches, this is very, very frustrating to them. So you're right. You're definitely right, man.
Oh, and one caveat to what you were saying, that was the reason why Southern got so many transfers from like LSU and bigger at the time 1A schools. If you transfer down in level, so if you're a 1A player and you transfer to a 1AA school, so just say you at LSU and you in Jared Gennardo's doghouse or you in Nick Saban's doghouse, if you transfer from LSU, you could transfer to Southern because you was transferring down. So that's why Southern got so many players from LSU and from bigger programs. And essentially got to a point where Nick Saban felt like he was losing too many players to Southern. So he put this ban in place where players couldn't transfer from LSU to Southern. If you was trying to transfer from LSU to Southern, he wouldn't sign off on that transfer.
Yep. That's how it was back in the day. But I saved the best for last. The reason why, because this gentleman actually was a Division One player, so he know how things are. He knows how it is from the perspective of an actual player, a good player at that. Not no scrub. Big Joe, what do you think on the topic?
What was your original question you asked, brother? So I can make sure I hit all your
No
points.
problem. We was on a verbal salad, so we was bringing up a whole bunch of topics. So I understand. So basically, um, players jumping in the portal, is it because the
Mm.
opportunity of being spoiled? Is it because of opportunity or being spoiled? So is it because they're looking? Most of them are they're looking for a better opportunity to start or actually play, see the field, or they're not kissing my ass. They're not. Um, they're on me because I'm coming to uh, uh, practice late. They keep, complaining. I'm going somewhere else because I'm a 5-star and somebody need
Hmm.
me.
Hmm. Well, for one, kids didn't just start being entitled once they opened the transfer portal or NIL deals. Kids have been entitled for a long time. I mean,
Yes, sir.
when you're a quality player and you're 4 stars, 5 stars, and you're getting recruited, these coaches will make you feel spoiled. These coaches will make you feel entitled because you're literally getting pampered. They're calling you, you're the best thing ever, and it's on recruiting trips. You depending on how good you are, the hostesses may show you uh the ladies may show you a good time. You may have some packages in your room waiting on you. Who knows?
Yeah.
So it's so this, I mean, so kids being entitled and sport, this is nothing new. The coaches make them that way. Then when that's how they get you to commit to their schools, and then when you commit to their schools, and they act like I mean, they don't know who you are no more. So
Mhm.
so a lot of that, goes on to the coaches as well. But as far as the brother at Colorado, Coach Prime's biggest thing of being a coach is he wants to develop um boys to men. So if you don't want your child to be developed from a boy to a man, don't send them to Colorado. If you want your child to be pampered and be treated like he's the best thing in the world, then Colorado ain't the place for him. Dion does not have a hard time getting cornerbacks, running backs, wide receivers. He can get specialty guys all day long. So even though he's a quality player and a five-star player, Coach Prime don't need you because he didn't play that much anyway. Because from my understanding, he had grades issues. He couldn't be nowhere on time. He couldn't listen to what Coach Prime was saying. So those are just things you have to learn in life. Then, if you want to learn it from Coach Prime, if you don't want to learn it from Coach Prime, then you do something in the streets. Don't worry. I'm not saying he's going there, but a lot of young kids, they don't like being told what to do. But after they go to prison, they don't mind being told what to do when they go to prison. So I deal with youth, so I see stuff like this all the time. So
Right.
regarding the kid, he can definitely go somewhere else and probably sign. They're probably going to overlook, all his attitude or his behavioral issues because he's talented. College has been doing that for years. Like the Nebraska team in the '90s that were winning championships. There's guys on the team who have domestic violence issues, grades issues, or whatnot, but we would never know about it because they were starters. So the same thing with the NFL. Reuben Foster is a prime example. He's a dog. He's a hell of a dog. But eventually, if your antics off the field is better than your production, then you're gonna be kicked out of the league. We see Reuben Foster now. He's in the UFL now, trying to get another opportunity. We've seen Antonio Brown get kicked out of the league. So yeah, so a lot of these college guys, you know, you've been told you're the best thing ever, and you're gonna walk around like you're the best thing ever. No, like I was saying earlier when it came, with Devin Haney. When you've been told you're the best thing ever, now you're on a team when everybody else think the same way. What you gonna do about it? And Deion Sanders, his credentials speak for himself. So if you ain't gonna listen to Coach Sanders, who played your same position at the highest level that there ever could be, who says you're gonna listen to a Nick Saban? Who says you're gonna listen to a Coach Stoops? Who says you're gonna listen to any other coach out there if you ain't gonna listen to the best that ever did it at your position? So, it'd be interesting to see where the kid goes, but a lot of these kids, they jump into the portal for a better opportunity. Some of them, they just, you know, they don't want to work that hard either. A lot
From
of them,
my understanding, and I didn't mean to interrupt you, Big Joe. From my understanding, Kamoni McLean is actually might be going to Oregon, or Oregon is looking at him.
oh yeah, I bet, yeah. I bet he is. So yeah, he'll go to a top program, but are you gonna get on the field? It
Right.
don't matter how good you are if you're ineligible. It don't matter how good you are if you're late to conditioning. It don't matter how good you are if you show up to practice late or if you're missing team workouts. All that don't matter. He sounds like he's gonna be a kid who might bounce around. If you ain't gonna listen to Coach Prime, who else you gonna listen to? So but there are some guys out there who don't want to wait. They want to play right away, and that's cool. And then let's not also forget there's guys who jump in the portal and don't get no action. And then they got to go right back to the team who they were trying to leave.
Yeah.
So this is a good lesson for a lot of these young men because the first thing is being a man is you understand on your word and stand on your actions. So if you're a guy who wants to bounce around different schools, no problem. Just make sure you do what you're supposed to do while you're there. And
X.
if you have behavioral issues, you can run from your issues for so long. Eventually, your eligibility gonna run out. You only got 4 years, so you bounce around 4 different schools, and you got behavioral issues. don't think he's gonna get drafted. Because perfect example is Noel Devine. He had behavioral issues. Took him forever to get started at West Virginia, and you see he didn't get drafted, and he has one hell of a high school highlight tape.
Yeah, he was one of
So
the best recruits
yeah,
that they ever
you,
seen at one point. Yeah.
so just because you're talented, don't. And again, if you're trying to go to the NFL, Coach Prime got all the connections. so,
Right.
so that's definitely a place you want to be at. But it's a little bit of both. Again, these players are transferring, but we literally just saw the Washington head coach leave in the middle of the night. Now he's a head coach at Alabama. And none of the players at Washington knew. No team meeting, no nothing. He was gone one minute. 1 minute we lost the national championship game. Next minute he on the jet smiling in Alabama wearing crimson red. So this is college sports. So just now the players are able to do it now, but now they're selfish and they're entitled. So the coach has been selfish and entitled for a long time too, because you know Nick Saban has bounced around too. What the Ole Miss head coach, he's bounced around. So Steve Sarkisian been all over the place. So this is college football. The players are just not able to do what the coach has been doing. So it looks like to me everybody's entitled and everybody's selfish.
I agree, man. And to Kamani McLean, if he goes to Oregon and act like he got some sense, we know what that was. And you know what the phrase I'm talking about, JB and Coach.
Oh yeah,
N-word courage.
yeah.
N-word courage. You can act a monkey when you under leadership of a black man. But when you go leadership of a white man in his system, you want to act like you got some sense. I don't respect that. I do not. But we will see. But I wish all the best for that young man, all these young men who's trying to just find a better opportunity. I ain't knocking that. It's just how not just the players, the coaches too. A lot of them go about it. Like Big Joe said it's a lot of them are spoiled and entitled.
I mean, like another perfect example, if y'all seen Cam Newton on Club Shay Shay, Cam Newton was trying to transfer from Florida to another school because the quarterback coach or whatever,
Mississippi
he was
State.
trying to transfer Mississippi State, and old boy wouldn't sign off on it.
And then
so he had it.
Urban Meyer would sign off on it.
Yeah. Urban Meyer wouldn't sign off on it, which made him have to go to Blinn College. Because back, like you said, back in the day, if you're going to transfer, your coach had to sign off on it. And Nick Saban wanted to sign off on him to Mississippi State, so he had to go to Blinn College. So
So and that's a good example. We say this, and this is a good topic because we also talked about this in the past. We get on these kids, but we gotta remind it. Town reminders. Coach had some stories about coaches having powers for years. What athletes come to their school, blocking them, not signing it off, and abusing their power for years. So now that these kids have the power of doing what they want to do, now we say, "Oh, ain't gonna be no more 2000 or 2001 Miami Hurricanes team." But the hell with that if what I'm saying, these kids at the end of the day, get to move and be happy and do what they want to do, and not being held back by some of these coaches. Because we forget not all these coaches is good coaches. They're just there for a check. So, you got
You ain't
the
lying. They not
McLean.
good coaches. They know how to bring talent around them to mask their flaws. Their flaws. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's not a lot of Mike Tomlins out here where you get shit, and then you gotta create chicken salad out of chicken shit. And me being a Ravens fan, I'll be pissed and amazed at the same time. He done that for years, so that's how you know you a good coach. You know what I'm saying? Um, Mac Brown, my coach for the Tar Heels. You know what I'm saying? Um, we winning games now. I know people, 8-5. Man, the Tar Heels a couple of years ago was terrible. Mac Brown with his recruiting, prowess, coming and change that program around. Now we're a respectable football program. We're not championship level, but we're respectable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it is what it is, man. Shout out to these athletes making moves and you know changing scenery. Shout out to Kamani McLean, Seven McGee, and Clifton McDowell. Hope those brothers have great opportunities in the future.
Right. I got a perfect personal story about this.
Let's
So
hear it.
I went from I had to go to a junior college because I missed my ACT score by 4 points. Went to a junior college. I told the coach when I was there, when you to get your AA degree, it normally takes 2 years. I told coach when I got there, I'm gonna come here. I'm only gonna be here, play one season. I'm gonna graduate in a year and a half. Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah, 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 yeah. So our coaches was our counselors. They're the ones who signed up our classes for us. You being a kid, you 18, 19, you ain't thinking nothing of it. So they're doing our classes for us and putting us in these classes and or whatever. I'm thinking they know what they're doing or whatever. So get to the end of the year, I'm highly recruited. I committed to Nebraska, but I had letters from everybody, Ohio State, Miami, Florida, all over the place. And then I noticed a lot of schools stopped sending me letters. And I was like, that's odd. And one of them was University of Miami. I always wanted to go to Miami. I love the old school Miami team. Everybody had the visors on and everything. I love the whole vibe. So I called Miami, talked to the coach. I said, "Hey, yo, why you guys stop sending me letters? What's going on?" Oh yeah, yeah, we talked to your head coach. He said that you ain't gonna graduate on time. So he said that you're gonna play a whole nother year. So we'll come recruit you
Wow.
next year.
Threw
And I'm like,
salt in the
what?
game.
So then I called some other schools that said the same thing. Like, oh, don't worry about this kid. Don't worry about it. He's not gonna graduate on time. Mind you, my coaches is the one who did my classes for me. Fast forward 2 weeks later, the same coach who was telling these, teams like Joe, that Townsend ain't gonna be here. The Townsend gonna be here. Don't worry about recruiting him. He left and took a different job. So he threw salt in the game so I can stay there to help out the other coach, who's now the head coach now. So he left, and threw salt in my game, but he left and took another opportunity. You dig what I'm saying? So, this is the kind of games these coaches play. So
That's dirty, man. And that's a good example. Excellent example of what's going on. It definitely not kind of it does mirror what Cam Newton went through, where um, the offensive coordinator took the Mississippi State job. The coordinator that left
You talking about Dan Mullins?
Dan Mullins, yes, um, and uh, he was trying to recruit Cam Newton from Mississippi State from Mississippi State from Bland College, but um, Cam Newton was like, "Hey, looking at the Mississippi State roster, y'all, y'all don't have a lot of seniors, so y'all, I don't have time to be on a team that's in rebuild mode. I'm trying to shine now." And he looked at versus Auburn. He looked at Auburn, his option at Auburn, whole bunch of seniors coming back, and basically Cam was like, "Okay, I can work with this." So, like a man, he called Dan Mullins and his wife and said, I'm not gonna be in the. I'm not gonna join you guys. So Dan Mullen goes to newspapers and basically creates the scam Newton allegations, basically saying that the reason why Cam went to Auburn is because he took money. So all those folk who's calling Cam Newton Scam Newton was going off of hearsay and a lie.
I just damn all as him and his wife.
Yep, him and his wife, yes sir. So what
That's
Big
right.
Joe,
Don't leave nobody out.
so what Big Joe just said, man, like this shit really happens to these young men. These coaches being petty and mad because the players are not coming to their school. So imagine what's going on now with with this um, portal, transfer portal. I mean, there's no telling what underhanded garbage these coaches are throwing toward these players, man. But um, that's what these players have to deal with nowadays, man. But good story, Joe. As always, good story. Um, but fellas, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Good conversation, good dialogue, like always. Um, starting with Coach 67 Sports TV. Let everybody know where they can meet you and see you.
You can catch me at Coach 67 Sports TV on all social media platforms, on X, which is formerly known as Twitter. I started a Coach 67 Sports TV Facebook group. You can catch me on TikTok, on Instagram. However, I'm primarily here on YouTube. I'm getting ready to do part 2 of my breakdown of Southern University Blue versus Gold spring game. I'm probably gonna do that maybe about, I don't know, maybe about 7:30ish or so. So for all y'all individuals tuned in, y'all come check me out. Y'all have a blessed, phenomenal evening, blessed, phenomenal work week. I'll catch y'all on the rebound. Peace and blessings to everyone.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Big Joe, LDBC Business. Let everybody know where they can meet you and see you.
Yes, sir. You can catch me on all LDBC platforms, showing love to the brothers, showing love to the family, and showing love to the queens as well. Shout out to the queens of the ring. And shout out to Cece. Um,
Yes, sir.
we probably can talk about this later. Supposedly it's official. Um, Frank Martin and Javante Davis in June. That's what Frank Martin posted on his page. So I'm guessing that's gonna be official. So we can talk about that next time. But
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
man. Y'all be safe. Y'all stay dangerous. And y'all stop hating. Yeah, get some money and stop hating. Some of y'all too broke to be talking shit. Get some money and stop hating.
Facts. You ain't never lying. JB, thank you, man, for being there, man, for me behind the scenes, brother. Like always.
No problem, bro. I'm always here if you need.
All right. Well, that was another installment of the Southern Baller Show, y'all. Y'all have a blessed day. Y'all be safe out here. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday.